What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. This video today is sponsored by EA. Notice how I'm saying that, right? A lot of people look at my video and say, this is sponsored. No, this is sponsored by EA. Let me tell you why. We're going to get into the tips, 5 powerful tips to make you a better Apex Legends player right now. But I actually want to talk about this new skin that they've got. And here's the thing. It's a Twitch Prime skin, so it's absolutely free if you have Amazon Prime. All you have to do is just essentially connect your accounts and you will get the skin for free. And it's a pretty cool incentive to, be an Amazon Prime member. You get free skins, and this is a rare skin, so it's not even a high level epic or legendary. But what I like about it the most, just to say, is this part. You actually get some strong Apex Legends theming, which if you notice about like all of his skins, look at this, they're all very different, and almost none of them have the Apex Legends logo, despite being really cool skins. Look at all these legendaries I have. So this skin brings something, despite it being a rare, something very different and unique. And so I really do like it, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it as well. Make sure to link that up. You'll be the swimming buddy kind of lifeguard style for Apex Legends. All right, so let's get into the video. I think we'll have all that in the description below. I want to talk a little bit about these tips to make you guys better players, and how I've learned through this process of becoming, in my opinion, a player that I think you guys will want to see. And I just want to make sure the sound is coming in on this video as well. I don't think it is. We'll make sure that it does come through. I believe... There you go. You should hear some sound now, guys. So that should be the video. Thank you so much. And we'll get to starting on this one. So the first thing I'd want to say is don't take fights you can't win. This was a big one because as a player in Apex Legends and as a player in any video game, you come in there from previous games. You have experience that you go and say, I am a player of games. I'm not gonna get defeated. This game feels good. I love this character. I'm in a vibe. Like, look at this. We're saying voice lines. We're spamming all these cool emotes and things like that. At the end of the day, you go into a fight. You have all this confidence, and you die instantly. Now, part of it might have been that you just stayed in that fight too long. And one of the things I realized is that I myself get very ego-oriented when I'm in these fights, and it's to my own chagrin because I end up dying, and I end up putting myself in situations that force my teammates to have to cover for me when they shouldn't. Poking and peeking is a big part of what I talk about in Apex Legends, because when you'll get in these one-on-one fights, sometimes you hit somebody for 80, they hit you for 75. But if you stay that extra half second, instead of poking back, maybe reloading your weapon, maybe using a shield cell, maybe using a shield battery instead of fully committing there, then you keep the opportunities open for you and your team to capitalize on that. Somebody's half shield, maybe they're fully cracked and their only health as far as their own personal health and not their shielding health. You have a chance to push that. But if you stay in that fight and you end up actually losing your health, now you have 20, health, no shield at all, their team is saying, I've literally got somebody one. We all know that people say one when they're not really one. So they're calling one on you. And that means that they're going to push aggressively. And most likely they're going to get the down. When I would do this in ranked, what I would notice is that I would put undue pressure on my teammates just because I decided to try and, stay in that little aim down sights fight with that Pathfinder across the way. And I'd hit him for a little bit, but then he'd basically knock me. Or he'd basically get me so low that I had to heal and I couldn't help my teammates who were getting pushed by another part of their team. And I realized that it was a selfish and it was more of an egotistical style. So one way to improve, not only just specifically by not even increasing your aim, anything that you do as far as your mechanical skill, is to slow your fights down and be willing to not win the fight right now in order to win it a little later. I think that is one of those things that comes with time and patience, and I'd love to see you guys implement that, because truly, when you give up the opportunity to have to win the fight now, so many other opportunities open up. You could heal, you could hide, you could disengage, you could run away, you could basically utilize all these different versions of staying alive and winning the ultimate fight, helping your teammate get back up, reviving them, holding a corner, throwing a grenade, really being patient. Those things only happen when you say, I'm not fully committed to having to 100 or 200 to 0 this person that I'm aiming down sights with. As you'll notice here in the gameplay, just a little bit of peek, a little poke. We see the caustic gas. If I'm standing there aiming down sights, say peek again, we're dying. And so that's one of the things that I think really helps, because now we've changed positions, they've pushed thinking that they've got us in that gas, and now we have an opportunity to be a little bit more aggressive and keep getting the advantage until we know we have it and that we can capitalize on it. It's a thing newer players don't do, but it's something that will make you a big difference, and really one of the more powerful lessons I learned. Being a good Apex player, sometimes like that right there, I'm low, I don't need to stay there into that fight, I just want to get behind cover. heal up. My teammates are full. They all shot me. I have an opportunity now to give them wiggle room after doing that damage and basically taking all of the bullets from them as well. And so that is going to hopefully help us in this next engagement. The second thing that I want to mention that will be a powerful lesson for all of you is to eat the giants. Now, in life, there's this saying called eat the frog, which is the biggest task of the day. Do it right at the start of the day. And why do people say that? Well, remember, when you don't do that, you end up avoiding that task all day long and dreading it throughout every single thing that you do. It makes your day laborious. It makes it hard. You get a little bit, I think, nervous knowing that, hey, I've still got this huge paper. I've still got this huge, conversation I have to have with this person I've been fighting with, or, person I need money from, or I've been at, my girlfriend, we've been arguing, I need something. All of those little things, if you don't do them at the start of the day, they carry through with you. And Eat the Giants is the Apex Legends version of that. There are always teams that jump in that have a 3-stack or maybe a champion squad. To me, I like going for those fights as soon as I can. And the reason is this. The sooner that you take that fight, especially if it's on landing, you see somebody that's a Predator squad, if they don't have a weapon, if they don't have a gun, they're just like you. Trust me, you might get a weapon before them. RNG could be on your side, and you ultimately end up getting the win. And that just eliminates a team that probably would be in the contest of the top 4 squads and makes your life easier. It's a bit of a risk early on, but as you climb up in these ranked levels as well, you notice that just camping and being in a place, and we'll talk about the cons of camping in a little bit, just staying in one place, it's honestly not valuable for you when you get to these higher levels of ranked, because you can literally get top 5 and literally be negative in platinum. You can make a top 5, no kills, and be negative RP, go down in rank. So you have to get kills. And so I encourage people to not be so scared on drop, because yes, maybe you don't win that fight, but again, you might have had to camp and get top 5, waste 20 minutes, and still not get that RP. But what you could do is you could actually take a fight, win it, be essentially positive for the rest of the game, and ultimately get out one of the biggest competitors that would be vying for the spot of champion that you're looking for. And it's about having confidence, and it's honestly about trusting yourself in these early engagements and working with your team to do so. Camping, like I said, is something I wouldn't recommend. I just don't think it makes you a better player, and I don't think it honestly helps you in ranked, and I don't think there's really a lot of value for it, except that if that's your playstyle and that's what you get enjoyment from. If you like camping, if you like being sneaky, I know players who sometimes like to literally be that dude who's sniping from across the map and no one knows where they are all game long. If that's your thing, bro, work it out. Like, I'm not here to judge, but if you want to get better, I would say camp less and try to take fights more. Eat those giants, go after those teams who are the kill squads, come in at that third party, be aggressive in your play, go for that team that looks like they're slaying everybody. And I honestly think that even if you lose, you'll learn something from fighting them, but the best chance you have of actually beating them and improving your own skill and placement in that game, and especially in ranked, is by taking a fight with them, being aggressive, being committed to the fight, and making sure that they know that they're not just going to get something free. And maybe you end up catching them at a bad time and you end up winning, and that ultimately is the reason you win the game, right? Because you took out your main competition. Number 3, I really think that having a role in Apex Legends and playing it is important. Now, we all have roles in life, right? Whether you're a father or a mother, you're a son, you're a daughter, maybe you're a teacher. Maybe you are somebody on a sports team. This is a really easy thing to understand, because in sports you have things like a right back or a center or a point guard. You have different things, a pitcher, and everyone has their role to play. In Apex Legends, it's not any different. But sometimes we play for ourselves. We literally think, this is my game. I'm just running around, loving life, messing with my heirloom, and I'm just going to do that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't work in ranked. It doesn't scale up to higher level skill. And when you watch these tournaments, you'll realize that people who play their roles end up not only helping their teammates, but they get better results themselves. It's a little bit of a secret, and it's kind of like life. When you help others, you help yourself. When you help others, you feel better about yourself. When you end up helping others in this team and picking a role that helps the team, you do better as an individual. And that is what I'm trying to help really be clear for all of you. Because I know a lot of people, they'll jump onto the game, and guess what they'll do? They die, they rush in, they don't think about anybody else, and then they leave, insta-quit, and they leave you with 2 players left instead of 3, which you should have, being able to maybe get their banner. That's a frustrating thing. That's somebody who's not playing for themselves and not helping the team. And when you can actually have people who are playing for themselves, who are helping the team, that to me is the biggest thing that you can do to be I think a better player and really improve the dynamic that you're experiencing when you're in these games. I think, to me, the bigger thing is in Apex there are supports, there are really entry fraggers, and there are pressure fraggers. And if this is something that you haven't really been aware of, you know, say a Wraith, she's pretty much the quintessential person who's going to enter into a fight and be able to take a lot of bullets, take a lot of damage, and get out. That's why when you're playing the role of a Wraith, you know, maybe you want to be that first in, and maybe you want to be the first out. If you are a Lifeline, one of the things that is challenging is right now, if Lifelines are actually going in and being aggressive, one of their main utilities is being the second or third person in the fight. And if they're not playing that role, you're not going to see the same results as you would on a team-wide level or an individual level, because you'll find somebody gets, you know, into a fight. You might go straight in there, knock yourself because you took all the bullets that everyone was trying to shoot on the first guy who went in, and now you can't res anyone. You can't be involved. You might have the gold backpack. You might be helping people out by just waiting patiently, playing your backline role, surveying the field, pinging enemies, and moving in when you know it's appropriate to either get that res off, throw that Gibraltar bubble down. Being committed to the role, even if somebody picks your character, saying, okay, I'm Gibraltar this game, I got to change my style. Okay, I'm Wraith this game, I got to be a little more aggressive than usual. It's a hard thing to do, but that practice is going to make you a better player. It's powerful to engage in the game that way, because it not only makes it more fun, not going to lie, but you will noticeably feel that you are learning about how other players have to play. And through that experience of seeing, oh, okay, so this is what it's like to be an aggressive Wraith. This is why I'm getting pushed so hard when I'm playing Gibraltar in my bubble. Why that Wraith is going that extra mile where, you know, I'm more of a support player. I didn't know that they would be that aggressive on me. I'm getting caught off guard. You know, that's something that because of the fact that you now have played Wraith or you've had those moments, you've accepted that role, you can now anticipate when you go back to your main Gibraltar. And that is one of those powerful things that I think when you learn not only what you need to do, but what other roles need to do, you can now anticipate what they'll do against you, and you can also know how to fill them. And that to me is what makes an overall player and how you will improve. Really spreading the awareness of how to do those different roles for you and your team. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And again, comment if this doesn't make sense, and comment anything that comes up along the way, whether it's a question or whether it's something that you like. Oh, I really like that thought process. Or hey, maybe you could think about it this way too, Raynday. You didn't mention it. Excuse me. Wow. I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that, guys. So, obviously, we're having a really fun game in the background as well. And I think the other thing about the roles is that you have to have something that not a lot of humans have. Awareness. Now, I'm not saying this to be bad, but I'm just saying that sometimes we can be self-centered. We can be caught up in our own life. Not everyone's really sensitive. And when you're sensitive and you're aware, it's hard to teach. It's hard to develop. It's hard to learn. But if you are really sensitive and you can pick up people's tendencies right away, like you see someone, they walk in a room, and you kind of can... I know what kind of person that is. That allows you to react a little faster. Again, if you can train that, that's a beautiful thing. It will help you in Apex Legends. If you can bring that to Apex, I mean, I'll tell you a personal example. When I see somebody like a Wraith and I know how they're running and they're not stopping and they keep moving, I know what I need to do for that game to keep the pace and stay involved as a team. If I stay back and I loot 4 boxes, that Wraith is going to be halfway across the map, and at the end of the day, we're not going to be successful because we're just going to be taking 1v1. She's going to die, and then our whole team's going to die, right? The other thing, just the number 4 kind of aspect, is little actions. Little actions make a big difference. Now, little actions are the way life goes, right? Every single day, if you're trying to be better at a language, if you're trying to be better at just as a person, you know, learning more about yourself, learning more about how you could be more contributive, and you could contribute more to society, contribute more to your family, the people close to you, I think, to your job. When you do that, I think, almost encouraging people to realize this is a marathon, not an instantaneous experience. I've been playing Apex Legends for a year and a half, since day 1 of the game. And honestly, I still get clapped sometimes. Sure, I'll have games where I know a lot more than the people I'm playing against and I'm having fun, but I will get clapped sometimes. And that means that at the end of the day, there's always something to improve. There's always good players who still get killed by players who don't know what they're doing, or players who show up and are more aggressive about it, have a better game plan. There are little actions you can take each day to improve, and it's this idea that I'm never done. We're never done growing. We're never done learning. We're never done becoming a better version of ourselves in-game or out of game, and that applies to Apex Legends. Some simple ways you can be better at little actions. Let's give you some examples for those who are trying to figure this out. Practice a weapon. Maybe you see that R99 is something that you love using, but you just don't know how to hit it. The wingman. every day, take 5 minutes after your gameplay session or maybe before it, just hit a few shots in the training range. Those little things will start to pay big dividends. You do that 30 days in a row. Imagine if you just took 5 minutes every day and hit a wingman shot in the training range for 5 minutes, just every day. After 30 days in a row, don't you think you would be pretty good at a wingman? It's not that hard. It's simple. Little actions like every day going out, kicking a few soccer balls, shooting a few baskets. Those things end up making you good shooters, good passers, good parts of your job, whether it's a center midfielder or a point guard. But at the end of the day, people don't do them. It feels like it's this huge mountain to climb. No, one step every day will get you there. You could research how to do an ability better. Maybe you love Pathfinder, you just don't know how to grapple. Research it. Watch some players who grapple. Watch some YouTubers who make grapple highlight videos. Maybe watch a gameplay in Pathfinder. Maybe watch another. Watch a streamer who mains Pathfinder. See what they do every day, a couple of minutes. Watch a pro. Watch a video. Learn something. If you find yourself playing really aggressive and dying a lot, play more passive. Every day, say one game. I'm going to play really passive this game. See how it works. What do I get from it? What do I lose from it? I always say record your gameplay. Become a better player by watching yourself and correcting little actions each day. Now, here's a problem. A lot of people say that, oh, that's awesome, Raynday, and then they do 100 different things. And then they get overwhelmed. They don't do anything. Don't do 100 different things. Don't correct the weapon, watch the video. Do one thing every day. Just a little something. I like to say go to the gym every day. Just go, right? Maybe you do 5 minutes of stuff, honestly, but you go every day. And then by the time you get there, you go, well, I'm already here. Might as well. I'm telling you, try it. You've had motivation issues. Just drive to the gym. Well, not now. It's coronavirus. But go do 10 push-ups. By the time you do 10, you're there, you're on the floor, like, well, I guess I can do another 10. And just every day, make those small commitments until you feel more comfortable doing more and more and more. That is how you improve. And it's not again, hard. It's simple. And I think when you look at it, it's not hard to understand. It's a simple strategy. But it will take dedication. And I believe that if you guys are watching this video, if you're interested in learning, even just a day or two, you'll start to notice the differences. So to really improve, just keep on at it. Now, the final thing, take pride in your losses and pride in your rejection. Guys, this is a world where people fail. Failure is a part of our world. Upset is a part of our world. Disappointment is a part of our world. But don't let that drive you. Let that be the biggest lesson that you have. John Lennon was told by his aunt, that guitar, it's kind of cool, but you'll never make it into a real business. Learn something that's going to make money. Alexander Graham Bell took his light bulb to the bankers and said, hey, can I get this? I think it's going to be big. They said, get that toy out of my face. I think when you look at the way that this happens, you have stories like Henry Warner. He said, who wants to have talking pictures when movies were all silent? At the end of the day, sometimes people will reject you, and you will be rejected through life and circumstances. But don't take that as a no. Take that as, what can I do to keep improving and to keep going for my goal? And if you have that powerful notion will drive you through each 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we just looked at, and it will drive you through everything else that you're trying to engage in life. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you again for EA for sponsoring this. And let me know if these tips helped. Share them to some friends who are trying to learn Apex Legends and give them a base of how to improve. Maybe they've been stuck. Maybe they still have more to do. But at the end of the day, as always, never give up. Never stop gaming. Enjoy the journey, my friends. And I will see you all next time.